You think you came for this. But 2 feet outside that glass is one of the hottest deserts in North America. Nothing should live here. No river runs through it. And the single most expensive thing Las Vegas does every day isn't the show you came to see. It's making sure you never feel the desert that's actually all around you. So, what does it really cost to keep a city alive where one was never supposed to be? Chost Adalas, TTHE HEDEN Kyost, OF EVR WTHING. Start with what you can see. Las Vegas isn't a casino district. It's a metropolitan area of more than 2 million people, with over 40 million visitors a year passing through. On any given day, roughly 110,000 of them are here at once. And it sits in the Mojave. Less than 5 inches of rain a year. Summer afternoons past 110 degrees. Everything that makes this place survivable. The water in the tap, the cold in the air, the food on the plate, has to be brought in or manufactured on the spot every single hour. This isn't a city the desert allows. It's a city the desert is constantly trying to take back, and holding it back has a daily price. Begin with the obvious cost, people. Las Vegas runs on the largest concentration of hospitality workers of any major American city, somewhere north of 280,000 jobs in leisure and hospitality alone. A single mega resort can employ as many people as a small town. Dealers, housekeepers, chefs, performers, engineers, the surveillance teams watching every table around the clock. And because Vegas never closes, all of it runs 3 shifts a day forever. Scope that workforce to the machine itself. The resorts, the casinos, the operations that keep the doors open, and the daily wage bill alone comes to around $53 million. 53 a day before a single light turns on. Now the cost nobody photographs. To keep millions of square feet of casino, hotel and mall at a comfortable 72 degrees, while it's 110 outside, takes an extraordinary amount of electricity. Air conditioning is the single largest use of power in this city in summer. Bigger than the kitchens, bigger than the gaming floors, and far, far bigger than the thing you'd assume. Because here's what surprises people. The famous lights, the neon, the screens, the fountain sea are almost a rounding error. The real power doesn't go into dazzling you. It goes into cooling the air, so you never feel the heat you walked in from. Across the whole valley, the daily electricity bill runs to roughly $10 million a day. And on a brutal August afternoon, the Strip's air conditioners alone pull the power of a small city. 100 m/a day, most of it spent on cold, not light. Which brings us to the strangest line on the bill. Water. There is no real water here, so Vegas borrows a river. Around 90% of southern Nevada's water comes from the Colorado, a river shared by 7 states. Pulled out of Lake Mead, the reservoir behind the Hoover Dam, more than 270 miles from where it falls as snow. The valley drinks something like 400 million gallons of it every day, enough to fill hundreds of Olympic swimming pools, in a place where almost nothing falls from the sky. And the lake has been shrinking. So Vegas did something remarkable. It drilled a tunnel deep under Lake Mead, $1.5 billion straw, so that even if the reservoir nearly empties, the city can keep drinking from the very bottom. Then it does something almost no other desert city manages. Nearly every drop used indoors is treated and sent back to Lake Mead, earning the right to pull more out. Just treating and delivering this borrowed river costs on the order of $1.75 million a day. You 90% of the water, from a river 270 miles away. Everything else has to come in too. The desert grows nothing the city eats. So the food on 40 million plates a year is trucked across the desert on the interstate. Millions of dollars a day in supply and logistics, plus the cost of running the gaming floors, the shows, the residencies around the clock, and underneath the show is an actual city. Police, fire, transit, sewers, and one of the busiest airports in America, moving 7 million passengers a year. The front door the whole machine depends on. Public services for a 24-hour tourist city run to tens of millions of dollars a day on their own. Then the upkeep, constant renovation, building systems, and insurance on some of the most valuable real estate per acre in the world. Add it together, and the picture is clear. Keeping Las Vegas alive is less like running a theme park and more like running a small country that happens to be in a desert. So let's answer the real question. What does it cost to run Las Vegas for a single day? Add up the people, the power, the water, the food, the services, the upkeep, and the all-in cost of keeping this metropolis running comes to somewhere around $155 million. Every day. Around $56 billion a year. That's roughly $1,800 every second, and the meter never stops because the city never closes. A 155 $1,000 a day loan 1-800 code, and it never stops. But the number isn't the surprise. Where the money goes is, because for every dollar Las Vegas spends on the spectacle you came to see, it spends more on something you were never meant to notice. Holding the desert back, cooling the air, importing the river, erasing, hour by hour, the fact that you are standing in one of the most hostile places to build a city on the continent. You thought the magic was the lights. The real magic, the expensive part, is that you walked through 110-degree desert and never felt a thing. You never felt the desert. That was the whole expensive point. That's the hidden cost of Las Vegas. Not the show on the marquee, the war against the desert behind it. $155 million a day. Most of it spent making sure you never feel where you really are. That's what we do here at Cost Atlas. We find the bill that isn't on the receipt for the things you thought you already understood. Next time, the single busiest port on Earth and what it really costs to keep the world's stuff moving for one day. Coast ATS. Subscribe. The hidden cost of everything.